Welcome to our webinar today. My name is Daniela Schwartzman. I'm the Strategic Partnerships Manager here at BayWa RE, and I am super excited to have FranklinWH in the house today with us. And while we are all logging on, thank you for showing up. Please make yourself familiar with the Zoom platform. Your most important button is the Q&A button. This is where you can make comments, ask questions. We will monitor the Q&A throughout the webinar and ask the questions right away. Some of the questions we'll be answering in the chat, in the Q&A section. So the chat really is only there for two reasons. You can find two links. If you want to learn a little bit more about BayWa, this is where you can find those links. But other than that, we will not be using the chat. Thank you for interacting and engaging with us, so you can get the biggest benefit out of this webinar. If you are not yet a customer of ours and working with BayWa, let me share some information so you know who we are. A couple of things here. Forecasting, very, very important. With us, you can plan your forecasts effectively and make sure that you have the supply that you need and to service the homeowners efficiently. Your dedicated account manager is always there to help you with that. Then our web store. The web store, if you have a chance, click that link in the chat and check out the web store. It's more than a store. It has everything that you might want at your fingertips. It's a very simple purchasing process, user-friendly. You have up-to-date pricing and immediate ordering capabilities here in the web store. Commercial services, if you are operating in the commercial field, we have an expert planning team, an expert service team, and they can help you with the planning, precise product inventory forecasting, and even help you with your design planning and more. Consistent pricing. So BayWa has strategically located warehouses across the United States, and you can benefit from consistent pricing, eliminating any unexpected fees. That ties very closely to logistics, so you can easily access the products that you need wherever you are in the country because of our strategically located warehouses. If you like to receive your products at the job site, that's a capability we can offer you as well. You can receive your products directly at your job or construction site with convenient direct job site delivery, bypassing any need for a middle warehouse. So if you are a US-based installer and you're not yet working with us, please explore those links, reach out to us. We'd be really happy to talk to you and to discuss your needs and help you serve your customers the best. All right, so much about BayWa. What we are here for is really our webinar with FranklinWH. Very exciting. Unlocking the power of aPower 2 and aPower S. So here you can learn how you can simplify solar and storage installations while maximizing efficiency and unlocking flexible system designs. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Tristan Cronshaw. He's the product manager at FranklinWH Energy Storage. I am so pleased you're here. Thank you so much for taking the time to walk us through the latest and newest and best of FranklinWH.
Yes, Daniela, thanks for having me. And again, thanks everyone for attending. We know this is a very critical time in the year. So we appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedules to join this webinar. As Daniela mentioned, my name is Tristan. I'm a product manager with FranklinWH. We are one of the the fastest growing residential energy storage companies in the industry to date. And we're really excited to speak about some of our new products that we are unveiling. So without further ado, I will kick off our presentation. Just give me a minute to share my screen. Okay, great. So today we're speaking about the aPower 2 and the aPower S, as well as a few other new accessory components that will be available for specific use cases. So let's dive into this. We can begin with a poll question. So Daniela, do you want to introduce the poll question? I believe you're muted, Daniela.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, Tristan. Let's hear from you guys. Do you understand how Franklin's WH's energy management differs from typical battery used with PV? So you have one choice here. Yes, I fully understand the difference between Franklin WH's energy management capabilities and a typical battery used with PV. I have some understanding, but I'd like to have more clarification. I'm aware of Franklin WH, but I don't fully understand the difference. And no, I'm not familiar with the difference. So let us see who you are. So the better we can actually tailor that webinar to you. So we see some understanding, awareness. So you guys are in the right place to learn more about Franklin, but also if you already understand the difference, this is going to be exciting for you to see the latest member of the Franklin family.
Yeah, that's good. It's a nice, everyone's kind of coming from different angles on this, but it seems like the general population is just looking for some more understanding. So happy to speak about that.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. So with that being said, we'll take a look at the Franklin whole home product suite. We are the most reliable brand in the market, and we have a high focus on our performance. On the left, you see our A-Gate X. This is our traditional transfer switch that involves relocating of circuits. This is the MID, the microgrid interconnection device, and has a few different features that can be integrated in this product. That's a generator integration as well as our smart circuits. And this is our legacy product that really, was our claim to fame when Franklin entered the market. The next product is the aPower 2, which is our AC coupled battery. So this is a 15 kilowatt hour battery. This has been on the market for over a year now. And if you were to install a Franklin system today, this is the product that you would be using in terms of the battery. So this is really intended to be paired with third-party solar inverters, whether that's a microinverter or a string inverter. The aPower 2 is that AC coupled battery. The aPower S is our new battery product, which we'll be speaking about in detail today, which is our all-in-one solar and ESS solution. So this has a built-in hybrid PV inverter into the enclosure, as well as the energy storage component, which is really intended to simplify the installation, reduce components, and drive margin for your business. The Mac, you see on the top right here, the meter adapter controller, we'll also be speaking about. And this is our controller when utilizing third-party meter collar adapters, which we'll speak about later. And the A-Hub is essentially all of our features that we are well known for. We really have a strong following for our load management capability through smart circuits, our generator integration, and our known ability to AC couple with any third-party PV inverter. The A-Hub essentially allows us to do all of that if you're using a meter collar or even if you're using the A-Gate. So we want to kind of present the issue, right? So why are homeowners coming to installers and looking for these solar and storage solutions, right? We know in certain markets, there's reduced export compensation for your solar system, like Hawaii or in California. So that's really driving the battery adoption rate. We also are well aware of increased electricity costs, right? So when you're getting $500, $600 bills every month, it's going to force the homeowner to start evaluating alternatives, and that's going to increase that ROI on these types of systems. Also, more people are electrifying, driving EVs, looking to install heat pumps, and that's increasing their energy consumption and ultimately their usage and electricity costs. And lastly, which is the least fortunate event, is our frequent outages and the grid stress. So we're all familiar with the atmospheric rivers that hit Northern California, as well as the planned power outages during the high wind events in California. We have major temperature fluctuations in Texas, like the freezing, events that shut down the utility grid. And we also have the hurricanes in the southeast and northeast. So all of these events are, really driving people to look for reliability and resiliency when the grid is down. So with that being said, what are installers looking out of a solar and storage solution, right? When the customer comes to them, they want to offer the best product for these homeowners. And what they're looking for is something that allows for a quick and easy installation, right? So minimize components. This allows for a simpler bill of materials, a more efficient design, and ultimately gets you onto the next job site quicker, and you can increase your profit margin in that way. Also, what they're looking for is a single manufacturer, right? So when you have, many manufacturers involved in these types of projects, there's different warranties, there's different support levels, and different types of service quality. So when you have a single manufacturer for your solar and storage solution, it really allows you to develop a better business relationship with that manufacturer and ensure that any issues are going to be resolved and you know how those are going to be resolved. Another key element is expandability through AC coupling, right? So many homeowners may not have, all of these new EVs, or they might be looking to add a hot tub in the future. They want to be able to scale these ESS solutions, and offering an AC coupling scalability is really important for the installers to come back and say, hey, if you want to just do one battery today, we can add one, in the next year. And then lastly, proven reliability and minimizing any truck rolls. So we mentioned it earlier, but Franklin is very, very focused on reliability. Our total RMA rate for our entire fleet is 0.21%. So these batteries almost never come off the wall. And what that does is that it minimizes any truck rolls or costly troubleshooting for your business. So this is why we developed the Franklin aPower S. We know that many new projects are new solar and storage installations. So we want to include the direct PV connection. We're eliminating that external inverter. We're minimizing components. We're minimizing wiring, and we're increasing the efficiency of the installation, and that cuts down on the labor costs. Also, the all-in-one architecture allows for that DC coupling, which increases the energy efficiency from the rooftop into the battery and from the rooftop to the loads, right? So this allows us also to charge from DC PV as well as AC sources simultaneously, which we'll get into. And the aPower S is also expandable with the aPower 2. So we're adding both power and capacity when you connect our legacy aPower 2 product alongside the new aPower S. And lastly, but most importantly, streamlined maintenance and support. So we are a manufacturer that is known to be there for our installers. We have very small wait time when you call into tech support, and we have dedicated product managers, regional sales managers, and service technicians for every geographic area in the United States. So working with a single vendor that simplifies customer service, monitoring, and then also unifies the warranty that you're offering to your customers. So the aPower S, as mentioned, is intended to reduce the total system cost. And the way we're doing that is we're integrating that PV inverter directly into the enclosure. That PV inverter can accept 20 kilowatts DC of PV to a single aPower S. The PV is spread across 4 MPPTs. Each MPPT can accept 15 amps per string and then up to 600 volts DC. So a very wide, flexible stringing capability that allows us to work with any panels or modules that BayWa may be able to offer you at a given point in time. A warranty for the aPower S is carried over from our legacy products. It's 15 years for both the battery and the inverter. For the battery portion, also can be viewed as throughput, which is 60 megawatt hours of throughput. That's 60,000 kilowatt hours of energy passing through the device. Top of the line warranty within the residential ESS industry. The battery's capacity is 15 kilowatt hours of usable. So if you're not familiar with Franklin, we actually maintain 1.1 kilowatt hours of untouchable energy within the battery that is reserved for black start. This means when you're evaluating another battery manufacturer to Franklin, you need to consider their reserve SOC, where in fact ours is 15 kilowatt hours of usable energy for the customer. The continuous discharge of the aPower S is 11.5 when the solar is producing. When the solar is not producing, perhaps in the nighttime, it's going to revert back to the 10 kilowatt discharge continuous power, which is the same as our aPower 2. And another thing about the aPower S and aPower 2 is our distribution capability. So we work with single phase 240 volts as well as single phase 208 volt compatible. So if you're coming across multifamily housing or even large homes that have 208 that's single phase, the Franklin ESS system is an option to offer your customers.
Tristan, may I jump in here? There are a couple questions from the audience.
Of course.
First question, what's the rapid shutdown for the PV?
Yes, we will get into that. But currently, we're using third-party rapid shutdown devices like AP Smart or Tigo, while Franklin is rolling out their own MCI solution, which will be available at the end of March 2026.
Excellent. And then there's one more. What is the battery capacity warranty at the end of 15 years?
Yeah, so the state of health of the battery, as I assume what the question is asking, is 70% after the 60,000 kilowatt hours of usage or 60 megawatt hours.
Excellent. Thank you.
Great. And then with that, we can kick off poll question 2.
Let's do it. When evaluating an energy storage system proposal, what do you think customers, your customers, care about most? One choice, price affordability, future-proofing and scalability, reliability and performance, brand trust, and installer support. So everybody, please place your votes. It's moving quite a bit. There's a tendency towards price and affordability, but also the other categories are still moving. Let's give it another half minute or so. Still moving. All right, I think we can call it. What do you think, Tristan?
Yeah,
Are these results surprising?
I think it's pretty standard. Price and affordability are always going to be important, but you have to always ensure the reliability and the performance, because if you just are using the cheapest equipment, there's going to be a lot of issues associated with that. And then brand trust and installer support, of course, that's really important. I think this is a well-balanced result. So appreciate everyone's insight there.
Can I ask you a question here? Future-proofing and scalability, how do you see that? Is that going to be something that will increase importance over time, or what are your thoughts on that one?
I think this is an interesting topic. I mean, we get a lot of questions about bidirectional EV charging and electrification, right? So future-proofing and scalability to me usually is focused on new technologies and how they can integrate into these systems. And I think that directly relates to like price and affordability, because price and affordability is not a linear measurement. These are systems that are intended to last 15, 20 years. So, you have to look to the future proofing and scalability when you're looking at the bottom line of your system, because your life is surely going to change within 15 years. And so if you just go with the common denominator piece of equipment, you're not going to be able to scale. You're not going to be able to continue to evolve your energy storage needs. So I think it's often overlooked, but we definitely get a lot of questions about scalability and future proofing related to like bidirectional EV charging.
Yeah, maybe not yet, because there's still so much movement in that field. Ruben has another question for you here. What is the max power output if you stack batteries?
Yeah, that's a great question. So our maximum power output scaled is 38.4 kilowatts continuous or 160 amps continuous. And we reach that maximum power output after 4 batteries. So after 4 batteries, you're only going to be increasing your energy storage capacity.
Got it. And there's another question. Does the aPower S do AC coupling PV, in brackets, with or without the DC coupling PV you mentioned?
Yeah, we'll speak about this more. You definitely can AC couple the aPower S with third-party solar. But if you're only installing the aPower S and you're not connecting any DC PV to it, we would recommend you use the aPower 2, because that's really what that product is intended for. Because the aPower S, to be fair, it's going to be priced a little higher because it includes that PV inverter.
Thank you. Great questions.
Of course.
Keep them
Yeah,
coming.
great questions. So let's focus on economics. I think this is obviously an important topic. But Speaking about, this is a common application of aPower S and aPower 2. This is going to give you 26% higher capacity and nearly double the power over name brand competitors. So when you start focused on total install cost versus the usable kWh capacity, we do see the bottom lines of the system begin to level out. And you have to consider if you're traditionally DC coupling and scaling your system that way, you're really only increasing that capacity. Whereas with this combination, you're getting that added value of the power to the load. So in this example, it's 21.5 kW of power to the loads, whether grid or off grid, because the aPower S and the aPower 2 continuous discharge capabilities are combined. So we also like to show a lot of the value in our warranty, right? So 50% longer warranty than name brand competitors equates to 50% more avoided costs of saving. So here you have the 60 megawatt hour of throughput warranty versus known competitor 38 megawatt hours of throughput. So in this example, you have, a significant amount of savings delta just through warranted avoided costs of electricity. So when you're evaluating products, it really doesn't come all the way down to the bottom line, because you have to think, how will this product be performing for me over its warranted lifetime? Another economic metric that we are really focused on is the price per installed kilowatt hour. So I'm sure if everyone, in this industry is very well aware of how modules are priced, price per watt, right? But how do you evaluate the price per kilowatt hour of an energy storage system? So what we want to look at is the Franklin system installed cost, which we do know is slightly higher than other competitors, divided by the 60 megawatt hours of throughput versus a competitor system cost that is traditionally lower, divided by their lower throughput of warranted energy. So in this example, you can see that the FranklinWH system actually is 21% less installed price per kilowatt hour than known competitors, right? So you can't, our focus is, don't be too hung up on the bottom line. You need to think about the usable capacity, the warranted throughput, and the avoided cost of electricity that the total ESS system is going to give the customer over the system's lifetime. Okay, great. Let's get into some integration methods. We're not going to spend too much time on the ins and outs of the A-Gate. We have many documents and a lot of information on our website about this product. It's our legacy product, but we just want to show how the aPower S connects to the A-Gate, which is our traditional MID device. So in this example, you can see that the solar panels are directly connected to the aPower S, which then is directly connected to the A-Gate. The A-Gate being the central point of connection between the utility grid, the main panel, potentially the non-backup panel if there is one, as well as our smart circuits, and then that generator or vehicle to load integration. So this is a traditional ESS solution where you would be intercepting at some point between the meter and then all of the protected loads. So to speak about the retrofit capability, the aPower S is capable to connect with third-party existing solar as well as existing aPower 2s. So in this example, you can see there may have been an existing AC coupled system with two aPower 2s. The homeowner may have electrified, and we can add the new PV with the aPower S directly to the A-Gate. Our systems are also backwards compatible with even our most legacy product. So the aPower X is the product that came to market in 2021, and many customers have these in the field. So as we know, everyone's trying to get, their solar and storage installations done by the end of the year. However, some products are not compatible with other manufacturers' legacy products. Whereas with Franklin, we can work with the aPower X as well as old A-Gates that may be installed in the field, both with the aPower 2 and the aPower S.
Tristan, I'd like to jump in here before we go to the poll question. Exciting, especially those use cases. This is really, really excellent. And everyone, you will have access to the recording later. So Wonderful presentation. There is a question about the aPower S. Can the aPower S function well fully off-grid?
That's a great question. I appreciate them asking that. All of our products are fully warranted for off-grid use, and the aPower S is a great solution for off-grid. Because we have top-of-the-line generator integration as well through either the A-Gate or the A-Hub, which we'll speak about, the aPower S is a great option. We have actually quite a few aPower S's installed today that are fully off-grid.
Excellent.
Okay, let's dive into poll question 3.
Let's do it. Do you discuss and reference home energy management as well as future-proofing in the new world of electrification? Thinking about EVs, virtual power plants, time of use rates. One choice only? Options are, yes, we cover both home energy management and future-proofing extensively. Option 2, we touch on these topics but don't go in depth. Option 3, we focus more on other aspects of electrification. Option 4, no, we don't cover these topics. And the last option, I'm not sure. Where would you place your vote here? We touched a little bit on the topic of future-proofing and how it becomes more important as more electrification needs become available. So we see that some people already cover both home energy management and future-proofing, but the majority, it looks like, is really on, yeah, we touch on these topics, but don't go in depth. How would you advise those installers in either category? What are some of the things they can do and say to make this conversation more in depth?
I think we spoke a little bit about it earlier, but we have to remember these systems are intended for 15 years or more. And so the future proofing as well as expandability is an important topic for the customer, especially when they're evaluating manufacturers, right? So we want to make sure that these conversations are being had, which it looks like they are. But for all of our installers, we want them to be well educated in how they, can participate in virtual power plants, what EVs are available to them, how the bidirectional market is evolving, and then also be very familiar with TOU rates. So all of these topics, I think, the more well educated you are, the better of an integrator or a salesperson you can be for your customer. So thanks everyone for your polls. We'll keep moving through the presentation here. So when speaking about expandability, we want to talk about when you might use certain combinations of the Franklin product line. So if you're doing a new solar and storage installation and the homeowner is looking for many days of autonomy, or they have a high power appetite and they need that scalability that Franklin brings with AC coupling, you may consider using the aPower S and the aPower 2 as an option. Now you would use this if it's a new solar and storage installation, but your PV resource is only large enough for a single aPower S. For example, 8 kilowatt solar array connected to the aPower S, plus an aPower 2 for added capacity and power. Now, when utilizing the A-Gate, we can scale up to 15 batteries of any combination of aPowers. So very, very flexible depending on your PV, size, as well as the energy requirement for the customer. Speaking about very large PV arrays, you may utilize multiple aPower S's. So if it's a very large ground mount, potentially in like a more rural region where they have a large agricultural need, or just generally a large home, if you're exceeding the PV input of a single aPower S, you can utilize multiple aPower S's. So think about a 30 kilowatt solar array. You would want to distribute that across multiple aPower S's too, for example. And the beauty of this is you're going to get the DC coupled efficiency from the PV directly into the aPower S, but you're going to be getting the AC coupling power and capacity additive element from both units. So in this example, you would have 30 kilowatt hours of storage usable, and then you're going to have 23 kW of continuous power.